Do you guys think that schedule makers should coordinate across sports so that teams that are in the playoffs don't play at the same time as other local teams that are required to be watched by people that have podcasts?
Such an American, Julio. Such an American.
My mic isn't on, I'm being told.
We hear you, but you don't sound very good.
That's weird.
In general, you don't sound very good.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Does that sound better or louder?
Not
You
really.
still sound terrible, yeah. That's fine.
Okay, great. So let's make this snappy. Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast, for all things Inter Miami. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for joining us for episode, I think, 83 here on the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. Huge shout out to our chief Heron Heads, Matias, Chow, Abu, and Ava. If you are interested in supporting us on Patreon, you'll find a link in the description wherever you are listening. Additionally, there's links to our Discord server, merch store, and a couple other things in there. So check it out if you're interested. And to answer someone in chat, yes, we are keeping an eye on the Panthers game. They're currently winning 1-0 for anyone that does care. And we just finished watching Messi's last match with Inter Miami for quite some time. He'll probably be out for the next 5 to 7 weeks as he departs to international duty for Copa America. And it ended in a 3-3 draw against St. Louis City. It was a game that we constantly chased after the match. So I think generally we are content with 1 point given how the game played out, but it was a really bad performance by the defense. So without delay, let's jump right in. How are you guys feeling? What's your guys' initial reaction to this game?
Jordi Alba, amazing game. Probably his best game with us in a while. Constantly putting the ball in play, constantly putting us in attack. We relied heavily on him to get the ball up the pitch. Just constantly great insertions into the box. Well, awesome. Great to see him back up and running.
The Barca boys' presence was felt today. Them three had crazy connections. Messi, Suarez, Alba. Busquets wasn't so much involved today. He stayed a lot back in defense. I noticed he played kind of like that third center back, like he does more often. But yeah, man, those three were connecting tonight. I wish our defense stepped up a little bit more. I wish Calendar stepped up a little bit more. I usually speak well about Calendar, but today, someone in the comment, I just put it up a little while ago, Tony put it, the stark difference between Berkey and Calendar. We saw it today, man. Berkey saved them from at least 2 to 3 goals. 2 to 3 goals that maybe hit the fingertip, hit his hand, and that was the game. And Calendar on the other side, he could have made the first one. I'll give it to him. The second one, I believe he should have stopped. He should have stopped that one for sure. So, yeah, man, goalkeepers make a huge difference as well. So,
yeah, the cello shot I thought was a great shot on goal. The Messi's, he had 2 shots that I feel like could have gone in as well. Berkey was on, bro. What a shame.
That was something that was interesting this match. Yeah, our defense very, very lackluster out there. They continue to allow guys to just march through. But this match, more than ever, I saw our defense really involved in the attack. We had Sailor at one point have a chance on goal. Cello had the really, really good shot outside, and Late had a really good opportunity to score. You wish that one of those, at least the two ones are really close on net by Sailor and Cello. You kind of hope that one of those goes in, but it's unusual to see us attack in that way. And I want to look at it, the silver lining there. I'm going to hope that maybe that's something that we'll see while Messi's out next possible 7 weeks. We need to figure out different ways to attack. So if that's something that might come, that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, overall, you don't feel great when you allow 3 goals. We stole 1 point out of them, but we definitely had the opportunity to score more and to allow us goals. So yeah, it hurts. And I agree with you, Chris. Drake has been disappointing. I think I had a couple episodes back. I really went into Drake, and yeah, he's just he's known as a shot blocker. When that starts to become a deficiency, that becomes an issue, and I think that's becoming more and more an issue with him moving forward.
Do I sound better now?
100% better.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that. Everyone's saying some of the ugly parts of this team are starting to show again. We saw it specifically in midweek against Atlanta. The turnovers were back in midfield and in our defensive zone. And there were stretches of this match where we could not just play out the back. We couldn't play 2-3 passes successfully without giving the ball away, immediately leading to dangerous opportunities for St. Louis. And we said it throughout the stretch in the beginning of the season that eventually we're going to come up against teams that make us pay. And sure enough, they made us pay. And again, we saw set pieces be an issue, defending set pieces. I mean, we just, with other than Jordi Alba, everyone on the defense has moments of being very sus. We cannot trust any of these players for 90 minutes. And it makes everything really difficult because even when we're scoring 3, the fact that we're not winning, and yes, we could have scored more. We had really good chances. Of course, all those chances seem to go to defenders and not to like true strikers. But regardless, very high danger chances. The defense needs to be playing better. Drake needs to be playing better. I totally agree. The first goal, you could understand not getting to it. It seemed like that first touch that Durkin took didn't really lend itself to taking a shot right after. And the angle, maybe he was blocked a little bit. Kind of like talking about hockey, it seemed like he may have been screened a little bit. But the second one was poor to allow, in my opinion. It was near post. That was the Indiana Vasilev goal. That one was really rough to allow. It was a close shot, but going near post, Drake's got to do better. And when the defense plays so poorly, and we saw this in the Leagues Cup run, Drake was the one saving us, and Drake has not hit that high in quite some time. So it makes everything exponentially more difficult. It's going to be really interesting to see how things play out now when Messi departs, when Luis Suarez departs, when Rojas departs. It's going to be interesting. People need to step up, and people needed to step up tonight, and we didn't see it. Messi and Jordi Alba stepped up, unsurprisingly.
Did you guys hear anything about Redondo's injury?
So early on, it seemed Alex Windley reported that it seemed like Redondo was sort of feeling his thigh area. I couldn't tell if it almost seemed like groin area, like inner thigh. And he had been motioning to the bench for a few minutes. And once he started motioning to the bench, Kremaski and Gressel started warming up. And shortly thereafter, he just went down on his own and basically stopped the play to be subbed off. The commentary speculated that it may have been precautionary since Copa America is coming up, and Redondo isn't confirmed to be part of that, but he aspires to potentially participate at some capacity. I don't know. This may have something to do with playing midweek, playing 90 minutes midweek. It's hopefully nothing. Hopefully it's not a re-aggravation of the injury that kept him out for a month and a half. And we'll see. It also was reported that Christoph was subbed off due to injury. So that remains to be seen, because that's just another hit to a defense that, as I've already sort of talked about ad nauseum, is already really bad. And when Christoph goes down and you're like, oh no, we lost one of our better defenders, and it's Christoph that we're talking about, that's not good, Bob.
No island time, baby.
God, no.
Figure it out.
Do that to us. Oh man, it's something you said earlier about the set pieces. I found it interesting. I don't know if it was a kiss of death by the announcers, like it usually happens, but they did mention that that there was an interview with Tata, and they had asked him about the set pieces, and Tata said, "No, we figured out the set pieces. We were a lot better this season," which I agree. This season they've been a little bit better, and then look what happened tonight. It was just
they've been more fortunate this season. They feel disjointed on set pieces, and they've been more fortunate to not allow as many goals as they had before. But also, I feel like they haven't had that many set pieces against them because they've just been successful attacking and scoring ridiculous goals on us. One thing that I wanted to talk. Sorry, I didn't just see what was put up there. You want to flash it up again? That comment.
It was about should we sub in Suarez instead of Campana next time?
I think the point is kind of moot because Suarez is going to leave to Copa America soon. But we can talk about that later.
I wanted to talk about the fact that for the first time this season, Gressel did not find his way onto the starting 11. This was, I think we've been talking about it for months, it feels like. And finally, he didn't start match. He got rest and felt that when he came in second half, it was much better than anything we've seen in the last, 6, 7, 8 matches from him starting. He came on, and I thought he was decent, and he was pretty consistent with his crosses. He got an assist, but he had several good crosses. So this is something that we want to see. Remember how we're always talking about how Benha is way better coming off the bench. That's a different energy. Maybe this is the best way to utilize Gressel. Of course, now we have the Copa America break, so we're going to probably need him to start again. But maybe when we have the full strength squad again, maybe this is the best way to utilize Gressel. Have him coming off the bench, and he can really spark us in that way. That's a great comment. Christoph needs to join the Ukrainian military. I don't know. I feel like he might not. He might do more damage than good.
Unfortunately, we might need him. So.
I
thought the starting. I thought the starting lineup actually looked good. It's a shame that Redondo got hurt because the midfield. I thought that's the midfield we've been needing to see for the last few weeks, and we've been calling for Gressel to get benched and sub in later. Because Redondo, when he's out there, you see the difference at the end of the day. You see the ball control, you see the right passes getting made, and when he came out, you just kind of saw everything kind of falling apart a little bit in the midfield. So it was the right call. Rojas didn't have a spectacular game, but I think he is more comfortable in the midfield anyways than on the wings. He still made 2 crazy shots from way outside of the box that we've seen him do often.
Such a nice way of putting it. He didn't have a spectacular game. No, he didn't have a good game either. He didn't have a mediocre game. I thought he had a pretty poor game.
I thought he was mediocre.
You're talking about the comment made earlier was about Chelo. Did you know Chelo's match rating was 6.3? That's pretty low. That's the lowest he's probably ever had while he played with us. That's the lowest he's probably ever had.
Maybe.
But also Redondo 6.2 match rating before he got hurt. Pretty bad.
He hardly played. He played what, 25 minutes?
Yeah,
and he was hurt.
I agree.
Yeah, so Chelo I thought played really poorly. He had a lot of chances, but
that missed goal opportunity was horrible.
Yeah, that's a brutal miss. To not even put it on target is at that point in the game, you have to challenge Berkey. Yes, Berkey has been making incredible saves, but if you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, kind of like if you don't put it on target, you're never gonna know.
There's no chance. You have no chance of getting it.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And there were just so many times that Chelo, he's almost like the road runner. Like his feet move super fast, but then he ends up like way ahead of where he should be. And then he just winds up being out of position way too often. And when he loses the ball, he tends to chase into the center of the pitch. And it just winds up really putting a lot of strain on that right side. And specifically when you have Messi also sort of playing out wide on the right, like there's no one sort of to cover. So, we're talking about Redondo covering, or we're talking about Toto having to stretch out to the right and cover. And it's just, it strains the defense a lot. and he really needs to tidy up his maybe just how he chases, or maybe just don't lose the ball so often, which is a complaint that I have about really the whole defense. They need to be tidier with the passing. They need to be tidier with their decision making, and they just put so much strain on the back line that it makes everything that we do in attack so much more imperative, and it's so much more under a microscope, because it feels like every chance that we have that we need to be doing better, because if not, they're going to go back down on the other end and score. And we were talking in the Discord, and it was like, oh, it seems like it's really opening up for Inter Miami. And I was like, okay, so right on cue here, St. Louis is going to score. And right after that, St. Louis had a great chance, and shortly thereafter they scored that goal to take the 3-2 lead at that point. And it's just like, if the defense plays the way it's playing, really with the exception of Alba, we're in trouble.
That's a game. He had a 9.5 match rating. The highest person that besides him was Toto with 6.6 match rating. I just thought it was funny because we all felt that like it was just terrible. Toto was terrible. Christoph was terrible. Cello was it was like we had Alba, but I don't even feel like Alba played much defense really. He was just really in on the attack. So that could have possibly been why they were so bad.
It's absolutely true. I don't know how many times I saw Alba crashing forward. That's what they're asking him to do. But then the ball trying to find him gets either intercepted by the defense or just doesn't get there. And in transition, his momentum is taking him completely off. So that it's a dead sprint. He's not sprinting as much, but he should be dead sprinting back to help. And yeah, it becomes really a numbers game for defense. And it's tough when on top of the fact that we're not good defensively, but we're also down defensively. So we have Christoph playing on there, and then we have Sailor playing out there. It's really asking a lot of our back line with the style of play that we have. You would think if we're going to be hitting our wingbacks so front in the attack, that you expect us to have really out defenders at center back. And the truth is, at this point, we don't have that. And yeah, we can always have that conversation of what players we need to add, but we're in the season here. We're not adding anybody. So they do need to figure it out. And that's where that comment comes in, is do we expect Ian Frey to come in and really participate coming soon? And the truth is, I don't know. It depends on how confident they feel that he is up and ready to play in this type of competition. I know he was playing with the second squad, and he seemed to be doing well. So I hope that he's going to play. And if we have to see what's going on with Christoph here, because if he's hurt, that might be a little more impetus to put Ian Frey in there.
And that kind of, it worries me, because we seem to be really bad at managing players returning from injury. Having Redondo go back down tonight and come off injured, it worries me that we're going to rush Ian Frey back. We're excited to reintegrate him into the squad, but man, like he's young and he's now coming off an ACL injury, and you just would hate to put him in sooner than needed. Maybe not needed, but sooner than when he's ready, really, and have something bad happen, God forbid. But yeah, the time may be sooner than later now, because we're wearing very thin on that back line. And at one point, Chelo went down, and I was like, wow, I really hope Chelo doesn't get hurt, because even though he plays poorly, like, who are you putting out on the right?
Absolutely, Gressel.
That fills you with confidence?
Nope.
Right.
I think
exactly.
It's the only option outside of putting.
This is the answer.
I
think you have a question, I give an answer.
It's true.
I think one of the positions that Yannick Bright could actually play is right back. I saw recently. I didn't know that about him until recently. But yeah, that's one of his other positions.
Doesn't look like a right back.
Doesn't.
Just the eye test. Doesn't pass.
But yeah, that's what I read.
Throw David Ruiz out there. All right.
Oh, you know better than that. Who would we put better than that?
Robert Taylor.
Oh.
Oh man. So let's talk about the good. Enough about the negative. Yes, we could have come away there with 3 points. We should have taken advantage that we had Messi available to us, amongst others. Let's talk about the good. We did score 3 goals tonight. Messi opened the scoring tally up for us with just a goal that we've seen a million times, it feels like, from Messi. Ball's played out wide. Jordi Alba crosses it into the top of the box, and Messi just puts it low, bottom left corner.
Low driven cross, top of the box, curled shot towards the left side of the goal. How many times have we seen that already?
A million. Just a million times.
I don't think a million times, but probably
100 times. Probably 100 times.
Yeah.
Let's call it. But then shortly after that, there was a really similar opportunity, and Berkey stopped it. And that was one of probably 3 or 4 incredible saves that Berkey made. Because this might be the last time I mentioned Chelo, but Chelo had an incredible shot at the end of the game that he caught so cleanly, and Berkey made a hell of a save. Super reflex save, fingertip, but parried it well away from the danger zone. And that was, to me, that was probably the clearest opportunity, because the one where Chelo slides and just missed it completely.
Right there. I would have forgiven.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, score a game winner goal, whatever, man. It's party time. But that was, so Messi's chance there. That was a great save. That was another fantastic opportunity. And then the second goal was Suarez, right? Is that right? Yeah. Yep. So Suarez tap in. It was Messi to Alba across the box. Suarez from a really tight angle. People were like, "Oh, another tap in." It really wasn't a tap in. It was a really well taken goal because the angle was very tight, and that wasn't the last goal of the night for Suarez. But then the third goal,
that Alba cross was nice. I don't know how it didn't hit anybody on the way, because it was from outside the box, I'm pretty sure, or close to it, and it just went all the way across the goal and found Suarez somehow.
Yeah, I know it was Alba was already very tight.
That was a beautiful, just from the build-up, Messi bringing the ball up from just his pass out to Alba was a threading the needle. Then he threaded the needle again from the left of the pitch all the way in front of, just out of the reach of I think it was like 3 defenders. How it found Suarez, and then Suarez having a second to be able to just tap it in. The tap it in at a full momentum sprint to hit the top 90 on the left side of the goal. Masterclass.
Yeah, and it was like a fadeaway because Suarez was running. I mean, he was running to catch up to the ball, but to wrap his foot around it, I thought it was a great goal. Like, very high level of difficulty.
I was watching my family. And I told them this is La Liga. This is exactly we're just back in Barca, and these guys are just playing again. That's basically what we're watching.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the ball had gone too far for Suarez to pull it back, but he did a fantastic job of being able to get it into the net. And then third goal, someone remind me how that play broke down. That was the Jordi Alba almost offside. Chris thought it was offside,
baby.
But we all knew it was onside.
Wrestle game-winning assist. Just how we all drew it up.
Unbelievable. Yeah, so Jordi Alba times his run really well. A defender on the other side of the pitch was keeping him on by a hair, and he was all alone, completely just passed it around Berkey. Beautiful for a player to do that against Berkey, who had been having a really nice game. It just speaks to the class that he brings, and Alba was already feeling it. You can tell he was locked in tonight. The passes he was playing were just so accurate, so good. It was a couple matches ago that we were saying Alba having his worst game.
Got it right. I'm glad VAR got it right, because that when they put the offsides, I was like, oh my god, really?
Yeah. Once I saw that first replay, I was like, well, to me, the layperson, it seems onside. And yeah, I totally agree. I'm glad they got it right, because he was onside. And just the finish I thought was spectacular. What I was saying was just a couple matches ago, it felt like Alba was just throwing it into the middle of the box and not finding anyone. But tonight he was in the zone, totally locked in. Everything seemed to be clicking for him as far as the offensive side, and just a very tidy finish.
I haven't seen Shoes in the comments, but in case he's watching, 69% ball possession for us. Something to know.
Ball.
Possession.
Oh.
Did you see the XG, Jose? 2.93 for Inter Miami, 1.64 for St. Louis.
Oof.
I would say we got XG'd.
You're
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
I would say that.
Yeah, everything else was relatively even. You know, even the shots, 19 to 20. They outshot us by 1. Saves, they obviously outsaved us 7-5. I'm a little bit surprised we took more corners than them. Usually we're not a high volume corner team, but 9-7 there. Passes, we doubled them up on passes. We had more shots on target, but yeah, another game where we have more possession than the other team, and it doesn't mean good things for us. It seems like when we don't have possession, we play better.
It's a joke that we have with Shoes, because Shoes, he has an Excel spreadsheet. I don't know if he still has it, where when we had more possession, we would actually lose.
Allegedly, he has a spreadsheet.
Allegedly, I don't know. He says he does.
Send us the spreadsheet, Shoes.
Yeah,
what is this?
Send to us, Shoes. But every time we dominate possession, it literally means nothing. It's just, it is what it is. I don't know why. Whenever we're more even, it's like, I guess we don't waste any time. We just score. But today was one of those days. Today was literally one of those days where it was just back and forth. It was a great match. It's a shame we didn't finish it.
Exactly. So next up for Inter Miami, we actually have a bit of a break here. We have a 2-week break until Inter Miami's next match. We take on Philadelphia Union on the 15th of June, so 2 weeks from now. And Chris, do you want to whip us around the league? Whip
it around.
Can you whip it for us?
So the biggest one, Cincinnati, did not play today. So we could have gone up even
So
more.
we got up on them.
Yeah, a little bit. But so yeah, they didn't play today. So that's one that we always like to keep a look at. Red Bulls won, unfortunately, but they played the lowly Orlando City. So we know that's not hard to do. Toronto actually tied with DC. They were losing earlier to DC, which that's a good turnout. Philadelphia tied with Montreal, which is not great. That's pretty much it. No other crazy things going on right now. CONCACAF Champions Cup is happening right now. MLS getting smoked 2-0, unfortunately. Maybe something could happen. It's halftime, but I don't know. I don't see it happening. But yeah,
Real Madrid won the Champions League, in case you missed it.
I love it. 2-0.
Yeah.
Should we sing the song?
Do it, Jose.
Go ahead. The last time I did that with you, Julio, my car
got done.
Then let's not. In the interest of safety, let's not. In the interest
just
of
wave your Ronaldo jersey around, Jose.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So let's see here. Looks like we might have a post-game update. So Tata on Redondo and Christoph. Redondo was a groin discomfort. They'll do tests in the coming days. And then Christoph was dizzy at the end of the first half. And he vomited at halftime. Had to be subbed.
Concussions.
That
he might be
man.
done. Like, him and Tua Tagovailoa, like, they've had one too many concussions. That's it.
Maybe that's why Trevor Lawrence was at the game tonight.
Yeah. Scouting.
Wow. It's all making sense now. It's all making sense now.
Yeah,
so,
Tony, we want Columbus to win today, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's not looking great
good right now.
It's not looking great because not only is it 2-0, but actually Pachuca had a goal disallowed. So could be 3-0. But there were a couple things that came out before we log off here. There were a couple things that came out in the last few days. There was something in the news. Someone remind me now that I bring it up.
Di Maria?
You're pulling a Jose.
So we didn't talk about Di Maria before last episode, but it does seem that Di Maria has accepted personal terms with us, but there's no real financial numbers out there as to what the contract might look like. But having personal terms
sounds promising.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Also,
go ahead, Dave.
Gomez.
No, I don't want to move. I want to linger on that one for a little.
Jose, we need money in to have money out.
All right, Julio, but who's he going to
Mm-hmm.
replace? Why are we bringing? I had the idea. What for who?
Chelo.
Well, I guess
Freire.
Robert
Freire's
Taylor
gonna
down
leave.
there, I guess.
Freire's gonna be out, and that's it.
Jose, listen, I'm
No.
not so in love with Robert Taylor that I wouldn't take an upgrade. I would take an upgrade and replace Robert Taylor any day of the week. But right now, I think Robert Taylor helps in that position because I don't think we have a better option.
At right back, yeah, I agree.
Exactly. I'm glad you agree.
Anyways, so the other I guess apparently any Premier League teams are scouting Gomez for some reason, and yes, apparently West Ham I think is like the hot name right now. West Ham I saw was saying that they'd throw 20 million. I don't remember if
10 to
euros
15.
or pounds at him. Yeah.
10 to 15, I saw.
Okay. Well, I saw 20. But it was probably euros. Oh, that's why there's the exchange difference. But yeah, so it looks like Gomez, we could have a sale for him going to the Premier League, which great for Gomez, great for the prestige of our club that we're able to develop guys and send them over to best, in my opinion, the best league in Europe, and yes, and an inflow of cash for this club to be able to grow and get more young talent and hopefully continue to churn those types of players out.
Agreed. We should get Nacho.
Yeah, it would be great to get Nacho. Just won his 6th Champions League trophy, taking the lead over Cristiano Ronaldo for the number of Champions League trophies he has. And
I think that's our breeding area. That's where we just
that's right. That's our feeder league. Yeah, it is really interesting now talking about the defense, and then immediately we're trying to hype about getting Angel Di Maria when it just seems like we're throwing all the resources into attack. It's going to be really interesting, I think, when the summer transfer opens up, if or how Inter Miami sort of shore up the defense, because it does seem that they need to do something that makes an impact, not just depth, but really go out and try to find a starter.
Julio, you don't get it. We need more offense.
Listen, if we want to go offense as the best defense, that's fine. We saw how that worked out for the Florida Panthers a couple of years ago. But I think we can all agree that let's upgrade one of the center backs. Let's upgrade Drake. Let's upgrade Chelo. Let's do something that mixes it up, right? We need to do something, and not just Di Maria. We can get Di Maria, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be like a DP.
There's got to be other pairing moves, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a DP that we get. It could just be sign someone that conforms to the rules set out by MLS.
Another player that rumored to be a possibility for us was Navas. He apparently has signed with I think it was a Liga MX team, so he's not going to be in consideration. I'm telling you, that's a player that I would have loved to have over Drake Calendar. As much as we've seen Calendar play well last season, Keeler is on a different level. So worth day better than Drake Calendar. So that would have been nice to have, but unfortunately, he's gone.
No, Drake Calendar's great. Chris loves him.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, so we'll see in the coming weeks. It's gonna get interesting fast here. We're gonna know a lot more of what the team's gonna look like over the coming week or so. Not all the teams have released their Copa America rosters. We mentioned Matias Rojas, for example, going away on international duty to Paraguay. That's just for friendlies in the build-up to Copa America, but it lends itself to believing that he will be called up for the Copa America squad. But as those rosters come out and we know better, we'll probably drop an episode that sort of outlines and previews what the Copa America break is going to look like for Inter Miami, because I do think it is really interesting. Obviously, we know the big one is that Messi will not be part of the Inter Miami squad, and Argentina is favored to go pretty far in that tournament. So it could be up to a 7-week absence for Messi from Inter Miami. So we will see what they do and who leaves and who stays. I know Campana staying, which everyone in this show is happy about. And yeah, should we do some Chris, anything else you want to add? Go Panthers.
Go
Vamos
Panthers, baby.
Gatos. All right. So with that,
Do your best Panthers impression.
Jose. There he is. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning into the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. We will be out soon with an episode. Like I said, it's 2 weeks till the next match, so maybe we'll do a midweek talking about Copa America, talking about Messi, maybe up to this point in the season. I don't know. Leave us your ideas in the comments. We go through all the comments every episode and really appreciate your feedback. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Join our Discord. Check out all our stuff. That's all in the description. And as always, thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one.